name the Burma President of India or any other famous person with whom Dr. Munje interacted.
Yes, there were many. The Prime Minister Nehru, he met what to call it, President Rajendra Prasad, okay, the first president of India. Then he met this one, Dalai Lama, and many of the ministers, state ministers, he met.
On the
My grandma used to be what is great scholar. She used to tell us lots of stories and all other things also, and teaching and read to us from the writing. Specifically, she wouldn't read to us, but she would ask us to read, and she would explain to us what we read, and also ask us to explain to her. And that is how I also learned how to read Gujarati, because Gujarati was not taught in a school or someplace, but she used to give me to read. She wanted us to learn Urdu and Persian or this Arabic also, but unfortunately, I never learned it because I thought, what is the use? Nobody knew the Persian and Arabic there, or this thing. So I didn't want to, but Gujarati, because there were some friends of mine who are Gujarati, so I learned Gujarati from her. Okay, so we learned this thing and used to tell us the stories. Now, my grandma was a real great scholar and and very kind and loving. I remember I used to, she used to ask me to cook for her, and she will tell me how to cook what she wanted to eat, because she had become quite old by that time and couldn't do it herself. She used to ask me to buy things for her from bazaars, and she'll tell me what things she wants me to buy and what kind of thing. You buy this fruit, it should be this soft or this hard or this color and this way, and like that. And then we used to bring for her, and whatever she wanted, I was the one who used to go and get for her or make, or another thing. She used to also ask me to cook, sew for her the clothes. So cut, she will ask me to open up her blouse. I'll open it up. She said, okay, put it on the paper and cut the paper. I'll cut the paper. Then she'll make me cut the cloth and stitch it. She had a hand sewing machine, a small singer machine. So we used to stitch, I used to stitch for her the blouses and petticoats and whatever else she needed. I learned from her. Of course, I couldn't do it by my own but she couldn't do it. So she used to ask me how to teach me how to do that. One thing which was very interesting and I really loved it. I used to bring for her fruits, and of course, lunchtime she'll be eating, I'll be in the school. So when I come back home in the evening and I go to visit her to take tea or something for her, she would have kept for me a piece of fruit. She would have kept for me the food which we had cooked for her, a small piece. You should eat it. If I said, Ma, I don't want it. We used to call her Ma. Ma, I don't know. You have to eat it. So every day she used to lovingly and kindly give things to me to eat from what what was for her share of food. You know, she was such a loving and kind woman, I really tell you. So, cut the long story short, she went for pilgrimage. My father collected some money when he became little older. And when it was about, so he got the money and he made it sure that my grandma went for pilgrimage to Haifa to meet with the guardian. And at that time, Munira Khanum was also alive. It was in 1936 she went to pilgrimage. Okay. And she was there for 6 months, their guest. In those days, they used to keep people because traveling was hard. They used to go by ship, and she was by then also she was quite aged, not very young, over than 60. So then they used to give her stay there, and she used to make sure that she will sit with the guardian when he was eating his food, to make sure that she will be with Munira Khanam, and Munira Khanam will talk to them. And of course, she could speak the language also. That was good. She did not know English, but she knew all the other languages. Persian and Arabic, she could talk to them in that language. It was okay. So she was there. And that time she prayed at the shrines of Bab and Baha'u'llah for uh, her son to get married, because my daddy was not married by then. He was uh, already a doctor by then. So she prayed, and when she finished praying, something happened to her. She got inspired, or whatever we can call it, that she should accept the first offer comes for the wedding. And she said, okay, I will do that. So when she comes back, when she arrives in the Bombay port, seaport, by the ship, my auntie, she's in Bowman, went to receive her. Now, my auntie was 12 years older than my mother. Okay. And so she was already married and she had children also. So she went to welcome her and talk to her. And then at same time, she was asking, oh, what did you ask for from your pilgrimage? Why don't you get him married to my sister? Okay. So my that was her wish, that whoever offers first, I will get him married. So he told, okay. She said, yes, we will have it. So then she went and told my father. So both of them really had to talk it over for some time, and then finally they agreed to get married. Now, when they got decided to get married, my father was from Muslim background. My grandma was Muslim, known as Muslim, of course. She was a Baha'i, and my grandma was known as Parsi, though she was, and my mother was, though they were Baha'is, but still in Parsi colony, Parsi log knew that they were Parsis. So they Parsis do not marry a person outside their religion. So when they found out that my mother was going to get married to my father, Parsi and Muslim, so they raised a big issue. And the Logok was the in charge, what to call it, priest of the Parsis, Dastur they call it, okay? He sent a message that if you will get married, I'll kill both of you. Okay? Now, that was a challenge message. So then the family met together and consulted about it. And then they decided, okay, we are not going to stop that, but what we will do is this. My mother and my father, before marriage, they both that we will go to him with our invitation card and invite him for our wedding. Okay. And so they went there with a bouquet of flowers and an invitation card and some sweets, and invited him, please come for our wedding on this date and this place and this time. Now Logo was really surprised and shocked. Nobody could do that. Who, when you know that they are enemy and want to kill, and then you go and invite them so lovingly and kindly. So he changed his mind. He didn't say yes or I will come, and he didn't go for the wedding. But he did send a bouquet of flower and best wishes for the wedding. And so they were married and no problem was arisen. That's how it happened. So you can imagine the power which we have in consultation and obeying the laws of Baha'u'llah. When you obey the laws, help comes to us from unseen sources.
I heard he had some bundle of it. Life may be like a movie away, like a movie or some, but only it made it. Yeah,
Yes. Be-
voodoo, like, yeah, some, uh, highlight about them.
I will. Before that, I would like to continue one little thing about my grandma I forgot to speak. That was just few days before she passed away. She was giving a public talk about the faith, you know, and to a big crowd. And she had such a good memory, such a good presence, and her voice was such a strong. In those days, there was not much equipment available as it is nowadays, but she gave a public talk about the faith. And after coming back, she decided that she was over 100 years of age. She said, now I think my time is up. I will not survive anymore. And then that was, and within 3 days, she passed away after that. So that was it. Yeah, now talking about my dad's hobbies, as I explained to you before, he was a poet, he was a writer, he was, and as you said, painting. He used to paint a lot. All of his paintings were inspired by the writings of Baha'u'llah or Abdul Baha, but from the faith only. Same with his poetry. All his poetries, all his mushairas, and all his writings were based and inspired by the writings and teachings of the faith. Because in those days, their movies were more meaningful than what they are now. you know. So you see from the movies what can be he used to teach the faith. So he'll go and see the movies and see and pick up the points from the movies, what points were brought out in there, and then he will use it in his talks. That in so and so movie, this what happened and this what was done by this one, or the hero said this thing or heroine said this thing, and it is, and then that will be used for teaching the faith. So his purpose was there, but he loved movies. And he also got us to love movies. We used to take us to see the movies. Then he used to have advertisements in 2 or 3 theaters of his medicines and things what he had produced. One of them was Biolex, because the thing for constipation, to relieve constipation, a tablet. So he used to advertise those things in the movies. And because of that, he used to get 2 passes from the theater every week, 2 passes, which two of the people can go and see the movie free of charge. So my daddy used to go first time to see, and I will go with him, or my brother will go with him, or any other friends will go. So he will take them, or when he has seen it once as the movie is going on, the second time he will send somebody else, take the pass and go and watch the movie. So that was his. So purpose of watching movie was not to just watch the movie, but to learn from there, get some points which could be used for the faith when he is giving a public talk or talking to people individually also.
Would you please name the Burma Daddy of India or any other favorite person whom the Munje in
Yes, there were many. The Prime Minister Nehru, he met what to call it, the President Rajendra Prasad, okay, the first president of India. Then he met this one, Dalai Lama, and many of the ministers, state ministers, he met education minister, used to go and visit them. He would take an opportunity to meet with the dignitaries as soon as he arrived in any of the city or state or even country. He would go and try to take an appointment, you know, and meet the highest authority to explain to them why he was there and what he was doing. And it is to work, because I remember, of course I was not in India at that time, but he had gone to Orissa, and there he had met the education minister in Orissa, and he went and talked about the Baha'i faith and also the children's moral classes, about how children should be taught morals. So the government, the minister really liked his thing, and he said, okay, you come and teach the whole state and in all the schools about moral. Daddy said, this is not possible for me. If you give me a pilot program, I can do that. So I will give me a few schools. Then finally decided that he will do it in the main, what to call it, the city. Okay. And he was given this thing that he wrote a letter and sent it to the principals and the city, the mayor or somebody. Will you please allow him to teach the faith, teach the morals to the children in school? And he did that. So first time he went and he talked about the thing. Second time he went, he brought some two other people with him, to teach so that they can learn how to teach the thing. Then he had a training of teachers about how to teach morals in the schools, and the curriculum was given. And so he had done that thing and was teaching. So this is how he used to work. He used to make sure that wherever he would go, to meet the highest authority, government or otherwise. Also homeopathic, same thing, Rotary Club, Lions Club, and all this. He used to go and meet the highest person, or the law, what to call it, this thing, lawyers association, bar associations, he'd go there and talk to them and then give an thing. When he was in Kenya, he went to the university professors, or the head of the thing, and talked about this. I have come and I want to talk to the university students about this. And then he would go and talk, and they would give permission, because the way he introduced himself and the topic, and he used to have list of more than 100 topics which he could talk on. So he'll give them, these are the topics I can speak on. You can select whichever topic you would like to. And they would select the topic according to what they thought would be liked by the students or by the people, and then he'll go and talk about it. That is how he used to work. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah. And he had been many favorite persons. How did he be government?
Yeah. as, as I think we talked about it a little bit before also, he, being a Baha'i, believed that all human beings are equal and all of them have soul. And the soul of man is equal for every human being, and they all have capacities. Only thing is that capacities have to be developed. Okay, they have hidden capacity which has to be developed, and and so he would talk to every human being, even children, young ones. He would talk to them and really explain to them things, how it works and how, because this is how he should teach. So when he came to Kenya, my children were young. He used to play with them and wanting them to wash hands. So he would say, okay, now we'll go to Washington to wash our hands before we eat our food. And he will take them in his lap, all three of them. They were young, The eldest was about 6, 4, and 3. So he'll take them to Washington to wash their hands. Then sometimes they wouldn't like to eat some food. They say, oh, today we are going to Greece to have some greasy food, So that's why the food, and then he would think. So that was the way he used to do. Okay, and the same thing he did with the adults and things. So everybody was respected, loved, and listened to before he would talk to them. He would not just go and start talking about faith only. And the CMS school in Lucknow, Dr. Gandhi, Jagdish Gandhi and his wife Bharti Gandhi, they were also, he used to go and visit them and stay with them, stay for hours waiting for them to be free when they can talk. And he will talk to them about the principles of how law and education, and how they can improve their education system. Listen to them, what problems they had and how those issues can be resolved, or how to respect. So then he suggested to them, I remember that you should reward children and not reward just one child, but reward every child in the school. So the teachers were asked, within the year, you must make sure that we have rewarded every child in the school for something or the other. Okay? For handwriting, or for helpfulness, or for being kind, or for being careful listener, or being honest, or being trustworthy, whatever could be, they should make. So what was happening is this, that the teachers were focusing on positive things. And when we focus on positive things to see in the children, children will react positively. They will do positive things because they want to be seen. And if you focus on negative things, they want to do negative things. So there was attention was given to positive things only. No negative things was talked about. So that was one thing. So he used to make sure that every child gets some reward. Either it can be a star, or it can be a pencil, or it can be a shabashi, and that was what he used to do. Then he made sure that not only that, to reward the parents. So what he did was he advised them that when you have a child who has done excellent in morals, okay? He was a truthful boy, an honest boy, a trustworthy boy. So saying this person, a girl, I'm just talking boy because this, but boy or girl both. So then this child has shown this quality, and and this was taught to him, nurtured in him by his mother. The mother is the first educator. So I would like to reward the mother, and he will call the mother from the teacher parents meeting, with then will call the mother to come to the fore. And then what he will do is he will put mother, there should be a big balance in the hall, and on the stage, and say mother will sit on one side of the on the balance, and other side he will fill it up with the fruits. So the weight of the mother, weight of the food, when they balance out, and he said, now this fruits will be distributed to all the audience. So that was what the mango season, mangoes were distributed. At the orange season, banana, whatever was in the fruit in the season, he will distribute that, or sweets, depend upon what was available at that time. But they used to make point that parents were, and what would happen is this, mothers will feel proud that they were respected. So they would, that was encouraging mothers to be kind to their parents, children, and teach them from the very young age. Because he will use a quotation from Baha'u'llah that the mothers are the first educator of children, and whatever you teach, children learn. So that is how we used to try to help. Many other things were there, but I'm just giving example of some. And certain things were no beating in the school. Nobody should be. So children should not be beaten, they should not hit. So that was another thing which was that they were not allowed to do this. And also, don't give punishment as work as punishment, or writing as punishment. Because if you say, okay, today you were very naughty, so you are going to be brooming the room. So what happened? A child thinks brooming is bad. I should not broom. I should not clean the room. So cleaning the room is a bad thing. So that they would not want to do it. So he would say, no. If the child has been good, you give reward. Okay, today you have been such a nice boy. So now today you are going to help the teacher to clean up the room after the mess, after everybody is gone. And the child is very happy. I'm helping my teacher to clean the room. So cleaning becomes a reward, not a punishment. Okay? Or, so this kind of thing is to do that. Then writing, same thing. The same, if you have done a mistake in writing, so you should write 100 times, I will not do this, I will not do this, I will not do that. So he said, this is not, so you are going to teach a child not to hate writing, but on the contrary, writing should be a reward. Oh, today you have been such a good. So you write a letter to your mother, or write a letter to your teacher, or write a small note to your friend. Okay, that will be a reward. And or write an essay tomorrow and bring it to us. So we read to the whole class how you felt, how you did. So because of that, children would love to write and love to do the good work. And this is how he was helping the teachers and the principal and the school to improve on and the education of children.
how he livelihood.
Very simple. He was a simple man. He was never demanding anything. Whatever he would get, even if he gets dry bread, he will eat that dry bread, nothing as he wants. If he gets one chapati with chili, one green chili, he will eat that for a whole meal, no problem. And if he get good food, he will enjoy to eating. He loved food. That's not that he did not. And my mother used to be a good cook. But I'm saying that whatever, wherever he was and whatever was available, that was enough for him. He would not have very simple and clothes and things also. He didn't care. Of course, he wanted to make sure that he had enough pockets in his clothes so that he can keep all the stuff what he wanted to keep with him. But there was not that he want to have the most expensive clothes or have many clothes. No, if he had two pair of clothes, it would be happy. You know. So his lifestyle was very simple and loved, as I say, and mixed with everybody. He had no qualms of I should not talk to this person. He is of low caste or high caste or from this background or from the poor or rich or uneducated or educated. He will be mixing with them and talk to them very lovingly and in their own level, so that nobody feels that, Arey, whom I am talking to. He would not show off, you know. So that was the way he was.
What if you make him happy or sad?
I'm sure what would make him happy would be when he was teaching the faith, okay, and serving other people. And that was it. And making sure that he can serve, okay. And when he could not, but of course he always was able to serve and go for travel teaching. And when he could not do that, if by chance, then it will make him sad, of course, you know. And if his patients are suffering, he was very sad that somebody suffers. Okay. But one more thing which was there, that he used to have people come and stay with him when he was treating them. Because I remember there was one man from Malaysia, Mr. Manyam. He came and stayed with my daddy and my mother, and he had a problem of I think tuberculosis, and daddy treated him. And he stayed with them and treated him, and he got well. Then he went back, and then this Maniam became a homeopathic doctor because he just thought it's a good thing, and he thought, and now he is treating. Even now, he is treating the people in Malaysia. I remember there was one lady who had 3 children, and her husband was in Delhi and couldn't come. So she came with the 3 children, and my daddy took him in our house. I was that time in Kanpur only. And these children were young, and they all had typhoid. And he took them in the house and stayed, and this lady would be allowed to cook for them and take care of them and help. Whatever she needed, the help was given, and he was treating them until they got well and then went back. Okay. So that was the kind of person he was. He would take in many, not, I'm just giving example of this, but he used to take anybody and they will be staying with them, being treated. Once they're okay, then they will be going back. And he had patients from all over the world, many parts of the world, not all, but many parts of the world, including USA.
I, I know it was high in my board daily. We take there in the
Yeah, that's a very good question. My husband, Dr. Tim Rost, loved his dad, his father-in-law. Daddy came to Kenya, to Uganda first, and before we got married, then he came to Kenya and stayed with us. You know, for about a year he was in Kenya. Then when we came here, we used to visit him too, and Daddy, and so and Daddy used to come to visit us and stay with us for some time. So he had a good interaction with my father, and they used to, because they were on that level that they could discuss about the faith, And my husband also was a scholar of many religions, so they could talk about different religions and then understand each other's thing, and so it was good. And then when he wrote this book, the Reincarnation Mystery Revealed, Daddy was here with us in Panchgani, stayed with us for about 3 months or so. And that time they discussed a lot of it about this Reincarnation Mystery Revealed. And then he was continuing to write. And when the book was, before the book was printed, my father passed away. So Tim took the book and he added a few things in there from what they had discussed and completed the book, and then it was printed. So they had a very good relationship, and they great respect for each other, both of them.
as we come of the in I am will hear about your about the I have
Yes, Anand. I think your software was very good. I could understand what, of course, I could understand you because I have been listening to you otherwise also. But I could read and understand, and so it was not a problem. And I see that it helps others to understand that thing, what you are wanting to ask the question. And at the same time, when you're typing and then you're speaking at the same time, it is good. Though, as I say that, because I know you so well, I have been with you since you are born, so I can understand what you are saying. So I didn't have problem in listening to you, but I was also reading once in a while to see what I was understanding was correct, and it was good. So software is very good. I agree, accept that. I'm so proud of you that you are able to do this thing. And I've been following all the other interviews too on the thing, whenever you send it to me, I follow it every time. And I'm very happy with that. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful interview.
My pleasure, my dear, my pleasure. And your questions were wonderful. Really good questions. To the point.
Bye for now.
Okay, dear. Bye for now.